Hey there, folks. How you doing? Today I want to talk to you about a lab in your lab book called the Flooding Lab. And it's going to instruct you to go to a website here, USGS, water data sort of housing center. And it's going to talk to you about collecting, harvesting some data from this site. And it is a task that you should probably acquire at some point in your life, using someone else's data in a new way to show something different with it. But because of the time element involved, mostly, and you see these superscript numbers here, in borrowing this data, and again, if you've read in the lab book, you'll see that you have to get rid of all those little superscripts in order to use this data. I have made you a little cheat sheet, I guess. So what's going on here is that we've got these gauging stations, they're called, at a couple points along the Mohawk River. This lab in particular deals with two of them. One near Delta Dam in Rome, and another near Little Falls. All right, and as I said, there's many more. There's just two of them, and I've chosen these for a very specific reason that hopefully you'll figure out at the end of the lab. So what it has you do, let's see if I could go back a page. So the link you have actually brings you here, okay? And it's got a lot of neat little information, lat and longitude if you wanted to find it, a little scatter graph here. But in order to actually use this data for Excel purposes, we're going to go up here to table. And I've been doing this lab for easily 20 years. Those of you familiar, yeah, tab separated can be is something that Excel works with, but this is, for most folks, is a little scarier looking than what we're going to end up doing. So yeah, tab separated might have been an option for us, but we're going to go straight here to table, which is where my video started. And traditionally I have you guys just copy, you click your mouse, you drag down. We're making all that, highlighting it all yellow. And we're still going. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of data here, right? So you get that, and then you go up. This is going to go off screen here, recording for a second. You hit copy, right? And open up Excel here real quick. And you would go in and you would paste, okay? But actually we want to do paste special, because we want to get rid of all that stuff that might be programmed in the background there, hyperlinks or anything like that. And we get that, okay? Nice big column of numbers. The problem was, let's go back and look real quick. We'll scroll down to the bottom since that's what's visible here. Make it a little bigger. All right. See, 1700 superscript 6 turned into 17,006. And this one's even worse. It threw 2 commas in because, well, there's 2 commas there. And it really screws up the data. So what we have had to do traditionally is go back through one cell at a time, make that editable, and boom. All right. And formula bar. There are some things you could do to help yourself. Okay, but in the end, yeah, there's 100 points of data there, and it takes a while. And if you've read the lab, there's 2 sites. Okay. Well, what I've done for you guys, because well, I like you, and it's winding down to the end of the semester, is I've made a nice clean data table for you. I've already removed all the superscripts. All right. Right now, the way you're getting it, it's sorted by water year. All right, which is basically exactly the way you see it on the website there. You're going to read in the lab about the fact that you need to sort it by something else. Okay. And I am going to show you how to do a sort real quick, but I'm not going to necessarily do it by the correct aspect. Okay, I want you guys to read the lab and figure out how to sort by, but I will show you how to sort. So there's a couple ways to do this. If you've got a title row up here like this, okay, you could grab that, but you have to tell sort that you grab the title row. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I prefer just to start below the titles. Now you see there's data over here too. So go all the way across, okay? It'll make sense eventually. So we want to sort this. And let's say that sorting, by the way, is up. Again, I'm going off screen for a minute here. But to a column called data. All right, mine goes file, edit, view, insert, format, tools, and then finally data is way down at the end. We want to sort, and now my mouse is back on screen. All right. So this right here, my list has headers. You get rid of that, it just goes down a column. But if you put it back in, it shows what you've got there. So it just depends on whether or not you've highlighted that. So let's say we want to sort this by gauge height. We'll just pick one randomly here. Okay, we want to sort by gauge height. So you go over here. Where's gauge height? Here's gauge height. We hit sort. And you see here now that all of this data has been rearranged from the lowest gauge height to the highest gauge height. Okay. Now there's a wonderful thing up here under edit called undo sort, and it puts it right back to where it was. Okay. Should you have messed it up, or should you want to go back to your original data? You'll always have a copy of the original data, on our class site, but sometimes you've gone several steps in and you don't want to delete the whole entire thing. So anyhow, that's how you do a sort. Okay. If you're wondering what these M and these R columns are, that simply means that you haven't read the lab yet. But I've got some starter numbers in here, and once you sort it correctly, those numbers will get in an order that makes sense to you. All right. I'll just jump over here for a minute. This R column, okay, I've actually put a formula in there for you, so you don't have to do the formula. All right. I've done a good chunk of the work for you, a lot of the setup work. All right. And I hope that that's enough to get you to a point where you can worry about the actual difficult part of this lab, which is making the graph. All right. The graph is going to have a lot of data points on it, and if I start getting a lot of questions about that, well, then we will make another video about that. Okay. So this is how to use the Excel data that I'm giving you to get started on here. Don't worry if you don't have Excel. I'm almost positive this should open in Google Numbers, or whatever the Google thing's called. Apple has Numbers as well, so Google probably doesn't call it Numbers, but Google Sheets, I think it is. It should open in there, and hopefully whatever else you guys are using out there. It's just a simple Excel file. So if you do have any problems, please email me. Okay, let me know. Of course, you guys do have a free Microsoft account through your school account. Okay, if you didn't know that, a great time to find that out. You don't necessarily have to use Google anymore. A lot of you are used to it since high school, though, and I understand that. But you do have a free Microsoft account and storage space in a cloud and all that. So, again, if you didn't know that, now is maybe a great time to get that set up. Okay, so I'm wrapping up this video here on how to work with the Flood Lab data. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me an email.